Going to be making basic pizzelles. I'm pronouncing that right, I hope. And I'm going to first show you the basic single recipe, it's called, with the mixing instructions. And then on the other piece of paper I got there, I'm going to show you the double recipe. And normally you want to make double if you're going to be making it for the holidays. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to, well, these are all the ingredients that I have to make this. And this is the double portion that I'm doing on this, the double recipe. So that means instead of 3 eggs, I have 6 eggs in here. I've got 3½ cups of flour, 2 sticks of butter melted and cooled. I have 1½ cups of sugar and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And I haven't measured this out, but it's vanilla extract, and this is anise oil. And this is where you get your flavor, the traditional flavor. You can add different flavors. There's orange and raspberry and different flavors, but this is a traditional Italian cookie for the holidays. It's anise. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So anyway, what we're going to do first is you melt your butter and you let that cool. So what we're going to do is mix our eggs and sugar together. Let me beat my eggs. This is 6 eggs. You know, a lot of people get out the blender, but I always do everything just by hand. Maybe it's better to get the blender, but I figure by the time I get the blender out, I can have it already mixed. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my sugar in there. And I don't want to touch this. Alright, so I beat my eggs, and I've got my, this is a Cucina Pro. And you can't get these at like Target or Walmart or any place like that. You literally have to go to like an Italian bakery. And if you live in Colorado, you can go to Valenti's Bakery, which is on 72nd, I believe, in Lowell. And they're about $79, $89. Expensive, but you use it every year and it lasts a lifetime. And you know, you need this. You can't make it with a waffle pan or anything like that. It won't work. It has to be one of these. And you can only get them, like I said, well, you can probably get them online. But you know, if you want to buy it right away and not wait for delivery, you have to go to an Italian bakery. Okay, so anyway, I have this warming up. And I didn't want to burn myself. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and mix my sugar in here. And this is 1½ cups of sugar. And I go ahead and mix that until it's a light, pretty yellow. I'm going to pretend like I'm a blender here. Okay, and so I've mixed my sugar and my 6 eggs, and it turns like a real bright yellow. And like I said, I'm just doing it by hand. I'm not pulling out the mixer. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my melted butter, which is 2 sticks, which is exactly 1 cup. You know what, I'm going to get my fork out of here. And I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. And I like to use real butter. The imitation, I'm not sure you're going to get the same quality or any of the, you know, fat-frees or whatever they got. I like, this particular one I'm using is Land O'Lakes, slightly salted. Okay, you want to get that all out of there. Okay, so I'll put that over there. And the sugar, and then I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. It's 1 teaspoon. I hope I have 4. Yeah, I do. Okay. Oops. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And then we'll beat that all together. And so I mixed my butter and my vanilla, and now I'm going to add the anise. And it asks, or it calls for 1 teaspoon when you're doubling it, but I'm going to go ahead and only put a half a teaspoon because my son said I put too much last year. He doesn't care for it. It's a real strong flavor, and it's kind of an acquired taste because it tastes like licorice, black licorice. And if you're not a licorice fan, it may not be something you want to use, the flavoring you want to use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. So I used a half a teaspoon. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and slightly fold in your flour in this. You don't want to dump it all in there all at once. You just want to kind of put, you know, maybe a quarter of it or half of it. Mix that in. Oh, it's smelling good already. And if you're doing it by hand, it even takes longer, I guess, to mix it in. Okay, get it back and add some more. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dump it. Now we'll mix that in. Okay, I was sitting here mixing this up, and I forgot to add my baking powder. So, baking powder. And I just wanted to say this real quick too. When my mom was a little girl, she used to call this gallbladder girl when she was 5 years old. And I think it's funny because it's glabber girl. So I just thought it was kind of cute. But anyway, so I call it gallbladder girl. So I forgot to add it, and so I added it and mixed it in. I hope that everything will be alright on it. So then I'm going to go ahead, and this has been heating up probably a good half an hour already by the time I got everything together. Oh yeah, it's hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. So what you want to do for your very first time, and you know what, your first cookies are not going to come out great. It takes like practice. You have to play with it until you get the hang of it again. So you want to spray your Pam spray, and you don't want any seasonings on it. You just want it original. You don't want like herbs or anything like that. It's okay, so you do a little spray on both sides, just to help it not stick. Okay, and then that's you probably won't have to do it again if I remember correctly. I only do this once a year, so I don't always remember how to do it. And you want to get you want to drop it by a teaspoonful right in the center. Okay, this is really thick. You want to drop it right in the center as much as you can. You don't need too much because it's going to spread out. Okay. And then you go ahead and close it and go kind of slow because it's going to spread out. Let it sit a few minutes. And I didn't go over the sides. Here it comes now. That one I knew I put too much on it. Just scrape the excess off. Let's see how it's looking. See how cute that looks? I go ahead and continue to brown that. So you want to be able to check it. And of course, as you go along, it gets a little faster because it gets hotter and hotter. Anyway, let's see how that's looking. Okay, that is perfect. And what you do is you go ahead and get your spatula, and you can, actually that's kind of dark. I've left it alone too long. Not bad for a first try, I guess. What you want to do is you want to have a place to put them to cool. And then when I run out of space here, I'm transfer them to a second place to continue to cool, because that's how they get firm, is the cooling. So I'm going to go ahead and try doing this again. See if I can get this right. Probably want to use 2 spoons. Let's scoop that off. Okay. Do another one. You don't want to put too much, I'm telling you. It really does overflow, and it spreads pretty good. So, well, I think this one will probably overflow, but we'll see what happens. Go slow, just let it fall, the weight of it fall on there. And then when you feel pretty secure, then you can actually smash it down more. You can see it come to the edge. And this takes a lot of time. And this batch here makes about, that's almost perfect. This batch, the double batch, probably makes pretty close to 60 cookies. And I usually do 120 cookies for the holidays, because when you give them out, you give like a little 10-pack of these, and they're pretty nice. You got a little stack like that. Yeah, you can go ahead and move those over there. Okay. See how these are going. You want to check it a couple of times to make sure it's the color you want. I like them on the light side. They don't have to be dark to be done. Yeah. They have the flower, and then it has the flower pattern on one side and like a waffle pattern on the other. Because that's the top and the bottom is what it is, really. Or maybe, no, it's the left and the right, actually. No, it's the top and the bottom. Okay. Well, let this finish cook in a few minutes. So, you just think about it. I got to wait like 3 minutes for these cookies, and you got to do 120 of them. That's a lot of cookies and a lot of time. It gets really, really hot. You don't want to touch this or burn yourself with it at all. You need to be real careful. You don't want to bump it with your arm. You don't have to lock it when you close it, because then you have to unlock it and everything. You just kind of set it there. And down here is the little light that goes to that. That lets you know that it's hot. Okay. But I'm going to go just a pinch more. Okie doke, those are perfect for me. Okay, so you get your spatula, and they're soft, so you want to be careful. And as you do more of these, you get better with that shape too. You want your batter to be kind of thick, because like I said, it spreads anyway. And if it's too watery, you're just going to run right off the edges. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go slow. Get the weight of it good. I'm going to smash it in there. Smells good, huh? You're right. With that half a teaspoon that I put instead of a full teaspoon, you could still smell that. Let's see. See, you got your, it's almost perfect. They're never quite right. I can never get them right. Some people are really good. My father-in-law used to make these every year for Christmas, and oh my God, he made them so perfect. And you can make them different thicknesses too. They don't have to be this thin. I like them thin, but there's thicker, a little bit thicker. It's called country style. And if you get this book, if you get this Cucina Pro, it has all the different recipes, different flavors and things. And you can get this and order it from cucinapro.com. I believe you can order it from there, but you can go check it out anyway and see. I haven't been there. I went to the bakery and got this one. Okay, still not quite done. And I like to use metal spatula, because the plastic probably might burn or stick there, because that's pretty hot. You're going to want to use metal. A little darker. You think those are too dark, or are they just pretty good? Just right? Yeah. Okay, and then what I do, after I've had the 2 cooling stages, I start stacking them up in an airtight container And I get the pretty large ones with the lid on it. Okay, these are perfect. See, I'm getting lighter and lighter now. I'm not burning them like I was before. Yes, is it kind of hard now? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can start putting them over. Let these ones cool, and then when you can touch them, move them over. Okay, and that's all you do. And you just keep going through your batter and count how many you have and how many you plan on giving out. Like I said, this should make about 60 of them. And trust me, you go through them fast. So 60 is practically nothing. If you're going to be gift giving, you're definitely going to want to do about 120, which is 2 of these bowls that I mixed up. So, and that's all there is to it. Okay, I made a stack of 60 on that. Well, I made 51, and then half of them got eaten, so I didn't quite make 60. And I'm on my way to making another 60. And then tomorrow I'll have to make some more because I just can't. It's getting late tonight. But with those, you can do all kinds of things with them. You can add if you add chocolate chips in your batter, you don't want to add the anise because the flavoring doesn't taste as good. With the anise and chocolate, it doesn't quite do it. Yeah. But so if you omit the anise and you can dip the whole thing in chocolate, or you can add chocolate chips. Also, when you put your batter on your cucina grill, if it overflows onto the other pizzelle and you get it connected instead of one separate one, like he just did here. Can you see that? Get your spatula and divide it when it's done. It's not done. You just get your spatula and you cut it in half. And that's about it. And they'll store in that container clear through Christmas. So, and that's it. Thanks you for watching my video.